गणेश जी, रिकॉर्डिंग चालू हो गई है, आप स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं।
आप सभी को नमस्कार। आज के कार्यक्रम में आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत एवं अभिनंदन है। जैसा कि आप सब जानते हैं कि आज का जो विषय है हम लोगों का पोस्ट बजट डिस्कशन, जो हमारे देश का बजट प्रस्तुत किया गया है उस पर हम लोग पर चर्चा के लिए हमारे इसमें व्याख्यान आयोजित किया गया है संगठन में, जिसके लिए आज के हमारे वक्ता हैं डॉक्टर विनोद सेन, अर्थशास्त्र विभाग, केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय अमरकंटक से, और डॉक्टर कपिल देव यादव, श्री राम कॉलेज, दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय दिल्ली से, और डॉक्टर बीरेन्द्र सिंह मत्सानिया, अर्थशास्त्र विभाग के हरि सिंह गौर विश्वविद्यालय सागर से हम सबके बीच उपस्थित हैं। और चूंकि रिसर्च स्कॉलर होना, देश के लिए चेतनाशील होना और सोचना, चिंतन करना भी एक दायित्व होता है रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स का, शोधार्थियों का। तो जो बजट हमारे देश में प्रस्तुत किया गया है उस पर भी हमें विचार विमर्श और बातचीत करनी चाहिए। इसी ध्येय से ये व्याख्यान आयोजित किया गया है, जिसके लिए हम लोग सब जुड़े हुए हैं यहाँ पर। तो कार्यक्रम की कड़ी को बढ़ाते हुए मैं विकास जी केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय अमरकंटक के राजनीति विज्ञान विभाग के रिसर्च स्कॉलर हैं, मैं उनको आमंत्रित करता हूं कि आप सभी का स्वागत करें। स्वागत प्रस्तुत।
ओके जी, थैंक यू गणेश जी। First of all, I would like to thanks all participants and all executive members of the Indian Research Scholar Association who have organized this beautiful program and lecture series and created a platform whose purpose is very broad, in which social subject, literature, arts and humanities from all over India researchers doing research in the different subjects should be connected, and so that new dimensions develop in the Indian research method. So I welcome in this lecture series I want to welcome सब लोग जुड़ रहे हैं, तो उस पे डिस्टर्ब हो रहा है। So I like to welcome all research scholar who have become part of lecture series online and are today by taking out their valuable time. I would like to welcome from the depth of my heart our panelist Dr. Vinod Sen sir, Dr. Kapil Dev Yadav sir, and Dr. Birendra Singh Matsania sir. They all have accepted our request and our invitation very easily. So I welcome to our panelists. I welcome all professors who are present in this lecture series from different universities like Dr. Deepak Kumar sir and Dr. Bhavna madam, In this lecture series, I welcome the all the convener of this lecture series, Ganeshi Lalji, and co-convener of this lecture series, Naina Prasad ji, and Jaya Sri ji, and the president of this association, Kritibas Datta ji, coordinator of this program, Ashwini Kumar ji, and Sanjeev Kumar ji. So, I welcome in the behalf of my association and in behalf of me. So thank you so much, Ganesh Raji. Thank you.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद विकास जी। अब कार्यक्रम की अगली कड़ी में मैं अगली कड़ी परिचय की है, तो मैं नैना प्रसाद महात्मा गांधी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय हिंदी विश्वविद्यालय वर्धा की हिंदी विभाग की स्कॉलर हैं। मैं उनसे आमंत्रित उनको कहूँगा कि डॉक्टर विनोद सेन अर्थशास्त्र विभाग के जो प्रोफेसर हैं उनका परिचय दें और उनको आमंत्रित करें पहले वक्ता के रूप में। नैना प्रसाद जी।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और गणेशी जी। सभी को मेरा प्रणाम। आज के वक्ता सेन जी का स्वागत करती हूँ एवं अभिनंदन करती हूँ। वे अर्थशास्त्र विभाग के हैं, इंदिरा गांधी राष्ट्रीय जनजातीय विश्वविद्यालय अमरकंटक से हैं। सर, मैं आपको आमंत्रित करती हूँ, आप अपना व्याख्यान शुरू करें।
Thank you, Naina ji. Very good evening to everyone. Dear Vikas, Ganeshi Lal, Krishnadas Datta ji, Dr. Deepak और इस आभासी मंच से जुड़े हुए सभी रिसर्च स्कॉलर। सर, प्रथम तो मैं आई जस्ट वांट टू कांग्रेचुलेट ऑल कि आप सब रिसर्च स्कॉलर ने आकर के एक नेशनल लेवल का एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन खड़ा किया है, जहाँ पे आप लोग अपनी बातें रख सकते हैं, आप अपने विचार रख सकते हैं। और मैं कंटिन्यूसली टच में हूँ विकास से, अश्विनी से, संजीत से, और मैं जानता हूँ कि आपका ये जो एसोसिएशन है वेरी एक्टिवली पार्टिसिपेट कर रहा है और बहुत सारे जो कंटेम्प्रेरी इशूज हैं सोशियो इकोनॉमिक एंड पॉलिटिकल, आप इस सब पे क्या कर रहे हैं? यू आर कंटिन्यूसली हैविंग सम लेक्चर सीरीज और पैनल डिस्कशन, ग्रुप डिस्कशन इज गोइंग ऑन। So in this series you have organized that post-budget discussion 2023-24. So before going into the detail, I just want your permission to share my small PPT, so that will be convenient. So first question is that what is the budget? Why that budget is required? Is it a vision document or is just a document which government are using for their benefit? Is it visible? Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
We can see PPT,
sir. So basically, budget is nothing. It is a document which says what are the receipt of the government, what are the tentative expenditure and tentative receipt of the government in a financial year. So that budget is a roadmap. Budget is a vision of a government that's going to tell what are the priority of the government in the next financial year. So budget should be confined for the financial year, not for a decade, not for a 25 year. So another question is that how that budget is going to be prepared. Then question will be like that, who is going to prepare that budget? So there is a advisory committee for that budget, which is in consultation with the maybe the policy maker, economist, social science. So every sectors they are having the series of consultations. ये लोगों से मिलते हैं, उनकी प्रायोरिटी पूछते हैं, उनकी क्या डिमांड है, so what kind of the expectations they are having from the government. So that's how that budget is going to prepare, keeping the expectations over the people in their mind. Then most importantly, that a political party, they are going to present their budget, and they're also having the eyes on the forthcoming election. So with that budget, they are also going to try to convince the people that they are worried about them. They are continuously working for their welfare. So that tradition is coming out from that last few decades. It's not new. So that current budget is basically the estimate of income and expenditure for a set period of time. So the economic survey, before the budget, that an economic survey is going to tabled by our honorable finance minister, and she said that how that actual expenditure is done by the economy. That is the statement about the income and expenditures of the economy. So that economic survey also predict the GDP rate. Next year में हमारा GDP will be from 6% to 6.8%. They are saying that inflation will be around 5.5%. So there some kind of the predictions are there, some kind of the actual data is also given. The survey is prepared by the team headed by the Chief Economic Advisors in the Ministry of Finance. So currently that Chief Economic Advisor, Dr. V. Anant Nageshwar, he is the person who prepared that budget, and that same budget has been presented by the Sitaraman. So India INC want a strong stimulus dose for the pandemic economy in the upcoming budget to help in the rebound from the COVID disruption. We all know that the last 2.5 years, that entire world economy, it is hit by the COVID-19, and we are slowly recovering, and now that revival of the things are going up. So India economic recovery from pandemic is complete, and it has been said by our minister only. Economy expected to grow by 6 to 6.8% in the coming financial year 2023 and 24. So it is also present the current state of the Indian economy, including data, gross domestic product, inflation rate, maybe on consumer price index, on the wholesale price index, employment, unemployment, trade. So that budget has been known as the first budget of the Amrit Kaul, that will declare that since that our economy since independence is now 75 years, so now its Amrit Kaul is going on. This is the first budget of the Amrit Kaul. So it's centered around the opportunity for citizens with focus on youth. So they want to provide the opportunity, especially the youth just graduate or postgraduate, or those who are looking for the job. Growth with the job creation. Since that was the tag on the Indian economy, we are having the growth of jobless growth. So they wanted to maybe usko khatam karna chahte the, but the data is saying something. Even that last 1 year we are experiencing the highest ever job unemployment rate. Last 45 years we have not seen this kind of unemployment. Unemployment situation was very alarming. It was above 8%. Strong state and macroeconomic environment. So we want that our economy should perform better. Whatever the macroeconomic indicators like GDP, inflation, employment, stability, they should be stable. There should be not very much fluctuations. So that budget, our union ministers or our finance minister said that union budget for 2023-24, it has the 7 priorities. So she has given a name term, Satrisi. The Amrit Kaul is providing a blueprint for a empowered and inclusive economy. Why they are saying it inclusive economy? Because they want that every sectors or every community, everyone should be the part of this development. They want that inclusive development. That the development, the fruit of the development should be reached to the last person, whether it's SC, ST, minority, economy, EWS class. So everybody should be part of this development. Reaching the last mile, a person who is very deprived, he should be also get the fruit of the development. Then another priority, the infrastructure investment, unleashing the potential, green growth, youth power, and financial sector. These are the 7 priority of the budget. So now that budget has that several branches. So it is very difficult to complete all the sectors of the economy, whether it's industries or agriculture, maybe the infrastructures, maybe the trade, SMME. So in this discussion, I will be focusing on only the two things. One is the education, another one is on public health. So if we can say that focusing mainly on the agriculture and education sector in 2023, budget also offered the provisions for the green growth, development for all part of the society. So when we see the budget allocations or the volume of the budget for the 2023-24, so the total outlay is 45 lakhs 3,097 crore. When we compare it from the last budget, which has been it was 39.45 lakh crore. When we see the data from the 2021-22, that was the budget is only 21 lakh crore. So we can say that every year our budget is increasing. It means that government is trying to spend more on all the sectors, whether it is coming through the deficit financing or maybe from the borrowing from the internal or external borrowing, but they are committed to have more expenditure. India growth is estimated to be among the highest in the major economy. Now it is growing at the rate of 7%. Now the fiscal deficit for the financial year is estimated to 5.9%, which is bearable. Come to my point that education, since we all are belong to the education, higher education, so that budget is presented before because next year there is a general election. In this year, there is an election for the 9 states. Today, the Tripura some voting is going on. In the month of November, that MP Chhattisgarh, there will be the election. So total 9 states is having the election. Next year, there is a general election. So people were thinking, and that policy maker was estimating that will be a very popular kind of the budget. That government will be trying to please everyone. So in these two sectors we will see what were the expectations from the education, whether that government has fulfilled that demand of the education sectors, and what kind of the new provisions in that education sector. The government also made the provisions to set up 100 lab, develop the application within 5G services in engineering institute. So that we know that key 5G services has been started in the metropolitan city, but slowly, maybe by the end of this year, that 5G service may be available for that. For that, we require the networks and all these things, engineers. So that is a good move, we can say that. The lab will be focused on the applications such as smart classroom, precision agriculture. That precision agriculture is a new concept. That concept is basically is used in the Western country or European countries, where that agriculture is going to be held on a very large scale. Large scale आप देखेंगे कि उनके जो खेत हैं या फिर जो फील्ड है वो बहुत बड़े हैं. That agriculture is going to be performed. कैसे परफॉर्म होगा कि उसमें टेक्नोलॉजी ज्यादा है. ठीक है, तो they are using cloud they are using, so that most of the agriculture is going to perform with the technology or with the scientific, so that productivity will be more, but another maybe that the employment opportunity will be going to be decline. Intelligent transport system, we know that key artificial intelligence has come. Most of the things now that artificial intelligence ICT is capable to operate it, and the healthcare of course, because the pandemics ने क्या किया है कि हमारा पूरा अर्थव्यवस्था को हिला के रख दिया है. And healthcare become the priority, and it has been also reflected in the last couple of budget. The budget proposed the establishment of 157 new nursing colleges. So in last 9 years, that present government has opened it 157 that medical institute. So with that medical institute, they are trying to open a nursing college that can be also welcome. It will provide the uh, manpower for the medicals, and that educated or trained nursing staff will be available to these institutions. Now, look into the budget of the different years for the education sector. If we can see the data closely from 2015-16 to 2018-19, the budget for the education sector is stagnant. It means 2.8% from 2015 to 2018. In 2019-20, that budget has increased to 3%, and 2020-21 it is 3.5%, then again it's declining. In 2021 to 22, 3.3%, 22 to 23, 2.8%, and 23 to 24 is 2.9%. If we can compare from the last budget, there is only 0.1% increase in the budget. But as a educationist, but as a policy makers, but different committee, whether it's first your education or maybe the new education plan, whether it's Kothari committee, everybody is demanding a minimum 6% of the GDP must be spent on the education sectors. But we can say it, except that we are not able to allocate the 50% what we are demanding. So government is not, that education is not looking into their priority sectors. That last, that 9 year you can budget, see that the highest budget allocation was 2020-21, because that time pandemics was going on, and that our education system was affected. Was first education institutions, whether school, colleges, university, they have been closed first, and they have been open last. Even some of the university is not fully open still. So that education, even that because of that COVID-19, not only the students, teachers, university, everything has been affected. Even the last budget, that UGC budget has been cut down by the 19%. It is going to be affected our research and development. It is going to affect our education's quality. So the average rate of inflation is 7.6%, and the last year rate of inflation is 6.8%. If we can see that only 8% increase in the education budget compared to last year allocation, when we are going to see the allocation in terms of the money, not the allocation in terms of the percentage of GDP. So if we can adjust near about 7% inflations and 8% increase in the budget. So how much they have increased? Only 1% budget has been increased for the education sector. So what is the priority? We want to implement the new education policy. We want to revamp the entire education systems. We want to provide the skill educations. We want to provide the vocational things. We want to give the training to the student. We want to start the placement. We want to provide the multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary things, and everything is there. So with the help of the education, we want to make our nation a Vishwaguru. With the help of the education, we want to be India should be the self-reliant. But when it's come to the allocations of the fund, how much we are allocating? In actual way, after adjusting with the inflation rate, only 1% fund has been increased. So is that key effectively implementations of the new education policy 2021 can be done with the increase of the 1% of the funds? It is a question. That question need to be answered. Only 40% of the government school have functional ITC lab, because we are saying that last budget we are saying that digital university will be there, digital library will be there, digital educations will be there. So the 40% of the government school have the functional ICTC lab, and if we can say that no allocation was observed for this budget, especially the program for massive open online courses loose, and PM E-Vidya scheme, even that scheme has not get any allocation. So how we can do with that education को आप कैसे इसको मतलब digitalize वे में जाएंगे. Now another thing is that we want to give skill with the education. So revamp the teacher training via District Institute of Education training. Now whether it's teachers training or the professor trainings. Now most of the training are happening on the virtual mode. In the virtual mode, we all know that since we all interested, then we are listening to each other. But when it comes to the training, now the training becomes the formality at the virtual platform. So that the training must be started on the traditional platform or offline platform. National Digital Library to be set for the children and adults. We are able to digital library, but our schools, colleges, they are not fully digitalized. Then it is very difficult to use of this kind of the digital library. The state will be encouraged to set up the physical libraries at the panchayat and ward level. That should be welcome, because physical library at panchayat and ward level, this is a very good step. Issues with the Indian education, we know that their internet connectivity is a problem for digital. Lack of basic facility in school, ICT is not developed. Not a single Indian university in a top 200 universities in the world. Still, we are trying to be at 200, but we are not able to go that. Loss of vacant position at state universities, central universities, school and colleges. So in last year, even though that government tried to उनने वैकेंसीज को फिलअप करने का कोशिश किया, एक मिशन बोर्ड पे किया, उन्होंने बोला कि 100 डेज में आपको करना है, but still that seats are, most of the seats are vacant. Students have been suffering from last 3 years, but no provision to compensate them. Now there's another issue is that early child education, CEC. The discourse on early child education in India received the flagship with the release of the new National Education Policy 2020. The NEP probably the first education policy that recommended that inclusion of children aged 3 to 6 within the structure of the school. So the policy also suggests strengthening the Anganwadi centers with access of high quality infrastructure, well-trained teachers and workers. We know that how the Anganwadi are working, that single male or female teacher, they are running the Anganwadi, they are the cook, they are the teachers, they are the watchmen. Even the primary schools are there, the teacher are cooking also, the teacher is also teaching, they are also preparing this. So lack of staff is a problem. India current spending on early child care is way below the requirement. In the 2020-21, the total budgetary provision for CEC India, the center and state stood around 25,000 crore. This is only 0.1% of the GDP. Because आप देश की जो जनसंख्या है, जो 3 to 6 ईयर की, उसके लिए आप एटलीस्ट 1% भी नहीं खर्च कर पा रहे हैं. In contrast, the average spending on the country, अगर हम देखेंगे जो other European countries and developed countries, they are spending 0.7% on early child education. So we have to learn from the abroad, and we have to start more spending on our Anganwadis or maybe जो primary schools हैं उसके ऊपर. Now we come to the education के बाद health sector पे आएंगे. The union budget जो 2003 plan to allocate 88,956 crore to the health expenditure, which is 2.71% of the budget. So we can say that 2022-23 was 1.4%. So a significant increase is there. Still, we are not fully recovered with this thing, and especially that our health infrastructure that required lots of investment, whether it's appointment of the doctor, nurse, infrastructure, vaccinations, availability of medicines. So the government has to allocate fund with the mission to the eliminate sickle cell anemia by the year of 2020. That sickle cell anemia, that the disease particularly जो पाया जाता है कि जो ट्राइब्स है, तो ट्राइब्स के में ये डिसीज होता है, और इसको इस बार गवर्नमेंट ने रिकॉग्नाइज किया है, वो भी किया है. the joint public and private medical research to be encouraged with the select ICMR lab. When that private things has come, it stick to the mind. Basically, the health is the primary responsibility of the government. The government health and infrastructure only they have to be function it properly. Some basic amenities and housing mein allocations of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, that's a very good program. Implementation is also going only 12% increase. The allocation for the urban reduce, okay, to 28,000 crore था 25 करोड़ कर दिया है. अंडर द उज्ज्वला हाउसिंग जो है कि जो प्रधानमंत्री आवास विल बी फ्री कुकिंग गैस जो है 9.2 लाख कनेक्शन विल बी गिवन. Under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, 2 housing schemes have been allocated near about 79,000 crore. Other allocations में देखें, government would be awarding the cash transfer for 2 lakh crore under the Prime Minister Kisan Samman Nidhi. That is the program which is very popular by the government. They again try to please the farmers. The budget for the 2023 has announced that new saving scheme for the women. So Mahila Samman saving certificate उसको बोला है कि up to 2 lakhs they can save, or rate of interest will be more. To provide the financial inclusion, expansion, the financial access, economically weaker section, region of the society, 74.8 crore allocated. Even they have come with the 470 club model residential school. You might be have surprised that there is a lot of schemes for the tribals. So I was just thinking why this budget has given a lot of things to the tribes. That Madhya Pradesh election is there, 21.1% tribes. Even that Tripura, there are the 30% tribes are there. In Chhattisgarh, there is also around 30% tribes are there. So basically that 9 states where the elections are going to be held, so they try to please that particular community to seize the votes. So anyway, that fund has given to the tribe that can be welcomed, but the timing is questionable. So PM Schools for Rising India, they have given that 4,000 crore. PM Uchchitar Shiksha Poshan, okay, that's the Yojana that has given only, जिसमें आपका midday meal आता है, that 1,550 crore. Skill India program is very इस प्रोग्राम ऐसा है कि काफी एम्बिशियस है. इसमें 278 करोड़ दिया गया है. रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट, इफ यू कैन सी दैट कि 11-12 में, सॉरी 21-22 में दैट कितना बजट था कि 10,263 था. बजट एस्टिमेट नेक्स्ट ईयर 11,902 किया. देन सेनो स्लाइटली इसमें इंक्रीज किया गया है. डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम में भी स्लाइटली इंक्रीज है. वर्ल्ड क्लास इंस्टीट्यूशंस में सिग्निफिकेंट दे आर सेइंग कि 15,000, बट वी कैन सी दैट कि बजट जो था 2023 का 17,000 था. रिवाइज बजट इज 12,000. मींस द एलोकेटेड बजट दे आर नॉट एबल टू एक्सपेंड इट. सो दैट एक्सपेंडिचर इज a concern. Now government is making the provisions, but they are not able to expend it, because for expenditure government is going to allocate the states are going to allocate the district is going to allocate block, and blocks is going to the panchayat. Then everywhere some implementation issues are there and they are not able to spend it properly. You can see the another this thing, the Prime Minister Employment Guarantee Yojana. So that allocation in 22-23 was 2,500 crores. Now it has again utilized only 2,484 crores. That underutilized there. Now there is provisions for 2,700 crores. Pradhan Mantri Ayushman Bharat Yojana, it's very ambitious schemes, but the allocation you can see it in 2021-22 only 177 crore, and 2023 they have allocated 9,790, but they are not able to spend it. That is expenditure only 282 crore. Now they are allocating 646 crore. Hello. Yes. I will take another 5 minutes to finish it. Same way the National Education Mission जो है, then Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi, they have decreased the budget Now, Ayushman Bharat, they have increased significantly. Now, Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Patra, they have decreased from 10,000 to 7,000 crores. Now, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, that significant increase, but when we compare from 2021 to 2022, it has been decreased. Employment pension scheme has been decreased. It has become half from what they have allocated in 2021-22. Now, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, now they have significantly decreased because last year's revised estimate is 89,000 crore, now only 60,000 crore. So that employment generation schemes are this much and their budget has been decreased. Some fact for concern है 80 crore people that government is saying कि they have given the public distributions. The same time they are saying कि 1.94%. It means okay, 9 years they have doubled the income. Okay, if one point of time their income is going to be double, then why there is a need to provide the free food grain for the 80 crore people out of 140 crore? Now that pack atta is coming for the 42 rupees per kg and MSP is only 2,115 into 2,000. So that the farmer is getting the less than what is the packed atta price. Need employment generations for educated youth because the educated youth current unemployment rate is near about 30%. Now it is also discouraging the saving. Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4 has been launched and is covering the artificial intelligence, coding, robotics, 3D printing, but that fund has not been allocated for them. It is a very popular budget. It will increase some kind of the income disparity. The GST collection has increased, but it is increased due to the organized sector, not the unorganized sector. No increase for the rural development budget allocations. Railway will be developed on the PPT model and significant money has been given so that private parties are going to enjoy the allocations. No direct program for the poverty alleviations. Budget allocation for the farmer and organized sectors, child welfare and other marginalized sectors is very nominal in the real term. In this budget, rich people are going to be rich and poor people are going to be poor. So that's from my side.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. गणेशी लाल जी,
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर, बहुत शुक्रिया। सर ने प्रत्येक क्षेत्र को बहुत अच्छे तरीके से बताया, कितना बजट है, क्यों है और कितना ठीक है। बहुत अच्छे तरीके से सर ने डिस्क्राइब किया हम लोगों के बीच। सर को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। अब कार्यक्रम के अगली कड़ी में कार्यक्रम को बढ़ाते हुए मैं डॉक्टर कपिल देव यादव सर को आमंत्रित करने के लिए नैना प्रसाद जी से आग्रह करूंगा कि वो सर का परिचय दें और सर को आमंत्रित करें। नैना प्रसाद जी।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। इस कार्यक्रम के अगली कड़ी में मैं डॉक्टर कपिल देव यादव सर जी से आग्रह करूंगी और उनका स्वागत एवं अभिनंदन करूंगी कि वे आए। वे श्री राम कॉलेज सर, आपका स्वागत है।
सर योर माइक इज ऑन।
सर माइक बंद है सर।
गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन। am I audible now?
Yes
जी सर, आवाज आ रही है आपकी।
Okay. So thank you and it's a privilege to be here with you and once again an opportunity that you have given me. I don't have any PPTs for this program, but yes, I'll try to present the things related to the infrastructure, railway. So majorly it is concerned with the infrastructural thing in the budget, that what is going to be there in infrastructure and why it is important. So if we see that Dr. Sen has already laid down all major things which had been taken place during this budget and previously, and we all knew this thing that last 2-3 years were quite shocks for our economy, not only for our economy, for the global economy as well, but especially for our economy when we were saying this, or we were targeting to achieve the 5 trillion economy by 24-25. So in that mean, in between pandemic has arrived and we was get bit shocked in that. So it is one again thing. But if we compare the things as now government is claiming this now economy is taking place in the previous shape as we were in 2019-20. So most of the comparison in these budgets are must be taken from the 1920 only, because in between if we consider the 20 budget, just after the budget announcement pandemic arrived and then we re-estimated everything, and the most of the things in 20 revised 20 budget and the 21 budget was for the survival purpose and the 22 budget was for the recovery purpose. But now this 23 budget is considered to the for the accelerating the growth of economy in this growth, and we know the importance of infrastructure, that how it is important. One thing that I want to share with you, that the global researches are showing this thing related to infrastructure, that the transportation cost in major developed economies and the emerging economies is 5 to 10% in total costing, where in India this costing is around 25 to 30%. So we can estimate this thing, that how much overburdened we are in terms of the transportation in the economy, and why this transportation costing is so high in our country, because of the poor infrastructure. Now people say, many people when they started discussing things, that now there is a huge development, road connectivity and everything, but the road connectivity which is visible, those are majorly in urban areas. What about the rural economy that we are having, where still 60 to 65% population is residing? So that rural infrastructure, OECD research, current research paper or the booklet of OECD is stating this thing, that India is now need a vital revival in rural economy. How we can revive the rural economy? So that infrastructure project, there are so many projects going on. We remember in 2019 budget, government announces one national infrastructure pipeline of 100 lakh crore rupees for next 5 years. So in that 100 lakh crore rupees for next 5 years, government need to spend on an average 20 lakh crore rupees annually. But if we see, say the now there are the regions or excuses are available, that for 2 years we were not doing that, we were not able to do anything because of the pandemic situation. But even then, till now, as last year government announces another policy to support national infrastructure policy, that was the national monetization policy. We all are aware about that. Through the national monetization policy, government trying to monetize the brownfield assets of government, through which they pump in funds to finance the national infrastructure pipeline. One another thing that this particular budget is having for infrastructure mainly concerned with roads, railway and ports. So the total outlay in current budget for infrastructure is 2.6 lakh trillion, or in simple term we can say 26 lakh crore rupees, 26.5 lakh crore rupees, the exact amount, out of which 2.4 trillion is coming from the regular budgetary sources. So sorry, this is for railway budget. The total outlay for capex, the capital expenditure that we are having, is 10 lakh crore rupees, which is threefold more than 2019. In 1920 budget, it was 3.38 lakh crore rupees, which increased to 10 lakh crore rupees in this budget. And the effective outlay, capex outlay, will be the more than 14 lakh crore rupees in this budget. So the capex is 3.3% of the GDP, and the effective capex or capital expenditure is 4.5% of GDP. Where if we compare the multiplier effect of the budget, this is the 3 time, or the multiplier effect of this budget is 3 time. These are the facts that I am discussing from the budget, but we'll discuss about how they are going to affect it and why. So 3 multiplier effect for the capex, which is much higher for the revenue expenditure. For revenue expenditure, current budgetary system is saying the multiplier effect is not even 1, it is 0.9% only. So in capex, we can say yes, there is a great achievement through the capex if we consider the budgetary allocations and everything, whatever announced in the budget. Then we come to what government going to do with this budget. The majority of this budget is going to spend on the road building. Government has targeted that to build 25 kilometer daily basis highways in the coming financial year. So now again there is a twist in this 25 kilometer, because if we consider now just 2 years back, 3 years back, government changed a calculative modus operandi of the highway construction. Now the modus operandi is one single lane for 1 kilometer is considered the construction of 1 kilometer. So if a 4 lane or 8 lane highway is constructed, and if they constructed 4 lane highway for 1 kilometer, so that 4 lane highway for 1 kilometer is to be calculated 4 kilometer. So in that effective way, we are only constructing around 6 to 6.5 kilometer per day. That can be increased, which was around 7 or 7.5 kilometer in previous regime, and before that also. So there are many such twisted we are having in these policies. Those are the different things. But yes, what government targeted through this capex infrastructure, that majorly things are spent on the road transportation, then for the port development and the connectivity with the port development. And along with the green corridors will be developed. For green corridors, government is having different fundings that more than 10,000 crore rupees are allotted to the hydrogas or the hydrogen energy fuel, that government is planning to introduce the 35 hydro-based trains also. So these kind of expenditure are included in that. But again, here the point is that this capex is usable, or in any of the budget in previous budgets from 19 till now or before that also. If we see the capex is, yes, definitely every year capex as budget is growing to increasing every year. Say, as Dr. Sen has shown the data from previous year, how much it is increased from 38 to 45, from 31 to 38. So in that condition, every year there are the different measures of increasing budgets. One major important thing that we know is inflation. Through this inflationary measures also, if in real money we calculated, then it might be a bit different. But yes, in PPP mode, that is not the public-private partnership, in purchase price parity mode, if we consider the budgetary allocation, that it is a nominal growth that we are having in all budgetary allocations. But for capex edge, this government is majorly considered that yes, they are more concerned about the infrastructure development, and there is no doubt in one thing. There may be 1,000 way to criticize different things, but for one thing we should not be doubtful, that yes, there has been significant development took place in infrastructure. Now, if we think about the other modes like National Freight Corridor, and which was announced during the Lalu's regime when he was railway minister, the National Freight Corridors were announced, 2 major National Freight Corridors, which were accelerated in these regimes, and now they are almost on the verge of completion. So that will definitely going to give boost to your infrastructure model or the different facilities which is going to be developed throughout these corridors. And in the similar way, government is developing. We have one scheme of golden quadrilateral which was introduced during the Nehru Atalji's time, and that continues with connecting with the metro areas, major metro cities or the urban areas. In this budget, government is also having one specific allocation towards tier 2 and tier 3 cities sustainable development. So when it comes for a sustainable development, that comes with the green technology. Now, for this green technology, if you heard the budgetary speech or the highlights of budget, green word was used anonymously throughout the budget. The green infrastructure, the green corridors. But how we develop green corridor? Through this infrastructure, we have done so much deforestation in the past years. So for forestation also, now government, like through the Paris Agreement, we are committed to have zero emission by 2070. So government has allotted 35,000 crore rupees towards that zero emission situation. That is one way of green development. Green infrastructure funds are created. For MSME sector, government has made a corpus of 9,000 crore for credit guarantee. Other than that 9,000 crore corpus, government has won another outlay of around 1.4 lakh crore rupees for the collateral-free guarantee. For sustainable development, government increased the free interest facility for states for next 50 years. The capex again, or the outlay for the states, the free interest loan facilities given to the states is 1.4 lakh crore rupees. All these are comprisingly in that infrastructure activities. Say, as Dr. Sen also discussed about the real estate. At PM Awas Yojana is one scheme, but other than PM Awas Yojana, now the RORA is one scheme that was there in force. Why which we have to you have to build houses like this that maximum energy should be taken from the natural sources. Energy means through daytime there should be a minimum use of the artificial uh, lights. So the greenhouse development concept is there. Then there's one another concept called the green finance, the green venture capital, which is created. Mostly these green finances are for the environmental issues. Now, if we see the economic survey, there is a special chapter added in last 2 decades only, that is the climate change and sustainable development. So in that climate change and sustainable development, what government is going to do for climate change activities, as I said, 35,000 crores are allotted. For housing infrastructure development, government is having 79 or say around 80,000 crore rupees this year for PM Awas Yojana. In similar way, the private sector also given some priority. Say their collateral has decreased, the guarantee bank guarantee schemes. Then in that also there is a relaxation. For housing development, government introduced for private sector the Pradhan Mantri Awas schemes by which people can take advantage of principal, as well as that principal amount limit also increase throughout the budgets, not only in this budget. In this budget also it is increased. So in that way, if we consider about infrastructure, that in infrastructure, yes, government has put more focus. But as I said initially, that what are the twist in this? In last many budgets, not during COVID, before that also, and not only in this regime, in before in EPA regimes also, if we see capex fund, whatever capex or the capital expenditure outlay was allotted, at the end of the year, there is a lack of funds, the lack of spending of those funds. Government is not able to spend all those funds. As I said about the national infrastructure pipeline, 100 lakh crore rupees for next 5 years. So in that way, again, 20 lakh crore rupees for 1 year. And till now means current data, I don't know, but till 22 budgetary allocation, because government has not released the total data. Till 22 financial year, 22-23 financial year begin, by that time government has not spent even 20 lakh crore rupees. So in our country, the basic issue is with the implementation of the thing. So the major concern, because we are discussing the post-budget things, that what can be, what are there. Yeah, things which are there in budgets, those are visible to everyone. Anyone can look out in this. All documents are available. You can see and everything. But what kind of modus operandi we are having, being an intellectual edge, all of you are the research scholar and conducting research on different fields in through your related subject, whatever the concern subject you are having. But every subject is having core concern with the economic issues, either it's in political science or literature even. Because if the proper developmental facilities, like Dr. Sen has pointed out, the education budget, we can see the education budget, but if we bifurcated that education budget in the different categories, then what are there? How much budget allocation are given to the core thing, that is the research? Why the Indian researches are not that considerable globally? Because we are having scarcity of funds in budget area. There is no private funding available for the research as we are having in developed economies. In similar way, whatever this capex and everything is allotted to by government in infrastructure, most of the things will be developed on the PPP mode. Now, for this PPP mode, in past, what problem we are facing for middle class, now the cost of transportation, instead of decreasing, it is going to increase. On one side, if we are able to save some fuel on running on the good roads, on another side, we are paying very high taxes. What can be done? That why the private players are given or are given to that much burden for their private transportation cost. Okay, that is good, because if government wants to promote the public transportation, but in another way, public transportation cost also increasing. Now come to the railway side, as we are discussing the transport. For railway, government has allotted the highest ever outlay this year, that is 2.65 lakh trillion. Okay, so out of 2.65 lakh crore rupees, 2.65 trillion rupees that government allotted to railway sector, out of which government is going to spend majority of the money on the electrification. They are trying to achieve 100% electrification of the tracks. As per government data, they have achieved 85%. 85% tracks are already electrified, and one another outlay is for the introducing new 500 Vande Bharat Express during the next year, and for the refurbishment of the existing coaches of the premium trains like Rajdhani, Shatabdi, Tejas, Duranto. So those refurbished coaches, because in that cost effectiveness, we have to see the LBH coaches that we are in budgetary allocation, that government is trying to replace all LBH coaches, all coaches with the LBH coaches, because the LBH coaches are quite safer than the previous one. The previous budget name, coaches name I forgot, so sorry for that. But government is trying to that. So all costings are in that way. But in this, if we see how much total allocation is given to the new track development, still in our country there are the areas, as we knew this thing, that railway is the cheapest mode of travel. So how to what certain in remote areas this railway facilities are available, how many new tracks development is there, that is not disclosed yet. The only thing which is disclosed, that government is going to develop in some this Gati Shakti project through the railway, that is the multi-modal cargo model for the better transportation facilities in country. So these all things, if we consider in budgetary allocation, then we have to say this thing that yes, but as it is considered one of the election year budget, because next year government will not have the whole budget, that will be the supplementary budget only. So it is considered the preceding year of the election year, it's the budgetary budget. So in these budgets, all governments try to attract more people by the different schemes. But here we have to analyze one thing on very serious note, that how much total achievement, that economic survey can give you the total real picture, that how much total achievement we are having out of the last year outlay, and how much total achievements we are going to have next year. That we will come to know by next year. We can discuss those things again. So again, instead of discussing things in a annual mode, if I'll suggest being as I was also in one time research scholar, and you are a research scholar, as Dr. Sen suggested, you keep on meeting and different things. So being an aware citizens, this is our responsibility also, that in between whatever is going on, and because finance ministry keep on releasing data for the different achievements also, or different other ministries also. So we can analyze those things on quarterly basis whenever you meet through the different modes, either virtually or the physically. So we can have regular analysis of the different things, why we are waiting for the last minute. In similar way, if we see, I have noted down some highlighted things, say, as I have already mentioned, this 35. So this, the one another thing which I left, which I want to point it out, is the financial sector growth. In financial sector growth, MSME sector, as I said, the 9,000 crore rupees are there for credit guarantee. But the MSME sector, which is contributing in employment about 60% in total employment in industries. Agriculture is different in three sectors. In industrial sector, MSME sector is contributing around 60% employment. That sector is only given 9,000 corpus. And the sector is contributing highest in the industry contribution, which is contributing 27% total in GDP, and the almost 50% coming from the MSME sector. That sector has given only 9,000 crore rupees. Is 9,000 crore rupees are sufficient for credit guarantee? Because what we have seen in past, after demonetization and GST, the majorly or the worstly affected sector is MSME, which need an strongest support from the government side. And if we see the different rebates given to the major corporates or the big companies, those are called blue chip companies, all those companies' major rebates are in lakhs of crore rupees. So in that condition, yes, one another thing is given to MSME sector that is not in this budget. In during COVID only, that in MSME one PLI scheme is launched. the production linked incentives, through which MSME sector is given incentives if they are producing more and more. So that scheme is continued from this budget onward also. Until when they will continue, that's a different thing. And then another incentive is given to MSME sector is for the 3 years tax holiday, which is still continued, or government has not discontinued at that. So these are also the indirect benefits of the budgets that we have to consider for these sectors, because everything which is announced, that is there, but the things which were continued are these discontinued, because no incentives is for the lifetime. All the incentives are given for a certain period. Those may be enhanced for a year or certain other periods. So in that way, we have to consider the different thing, and we have to analyze by taking the current things what are announced, and afterwards what government is going to achieve out of this. If achievements are 70-80%, then yes, we can consider that yes, it is a considerable achievements of the budgetary things that we have announced, and now yes, we have considered. Like we can see the Narega. Narega is one major scheme, as it is cited by Dr. Sen also, that around 30,000 crore rupees has decreased from Narega. But whatever was allotted to Narega since its inception in 2008, the different researches shows these things, that the Narega's total success rate is 34%. Success rate means as government guaranteeing 100 days employment, 100 days employment, the average days are coming 34 only. So we can say yes, if 100 days are there, 100% achievement. So if it is 34 days, then it's a 34% achievement. So in that way, can we consider that these schemes are successful? So again, budgetary things we have disclosed, or we discussed, you also read from the different sources or the different other analysis. You might have your own analysis. By taking all these things into consideration, now I put stop on my words. Thank you.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर, बहुत शुक्रिया.
Kapil sir, thank you very much sir. Yes Ganesh sir.
बहुत अच्छा डिस्क्राइब किया सर ने, बहुत अच्छे तरीके से बताया प्रत्येक क्षेत्र के बजट के बारे में. तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर का. और हम कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए अगली कड़ी में डॉक्टर डॉक्टर वीरेंद्र सिंह मत्सानिया सर को आमंत्रित करने के लिए मैं अश्वनी कुमार जी को कहूँगा, जो सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी अमरकंटक के शोधार्थी हैं, कि सर का परिचय दें और आमंत्रित करें. अश्वनी कुमार जी.
Thank you so much, Ganesh ji. My name is Ashwini Kumar. I'm the research scholar of Department of Economics in IGNTU. It's an honor of me that I got the opportunity to introduce Dr. Virendra Singh Matsania. Sir, respected sir. In current, respected sir is assistant professor in Department of Economics and Human and Social Science. Dr. Hari Singh Gaur Vishwavidyalaya, Sagar, Madhya Pradesh. Sir has been also awarded PhD and LLB from the Jivaji University, Gwalior. Sir is also qualified the NET, and in university. Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Actually, the thing is, like, we are so pleased.
Yes, Viren sir. Yes, sir. You can start, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. You're most welcome, sir.
ओके. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सभी का. और ऑनलाइन जो हमारा डिस्कशन हो रहा है उसके कन्वीनर गणेश लाल जी.
हेलो.
और मेरी आवाज आ रही?
हाँ, Viren sir, you can listen me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I request to you, sir, because most of the scholars are from Hindi region, sir. So if you will deliver your lecture bilingual, so sir, that's very beneficial for us, sir.
ओके. श्योर. चलिए. तो मैं गणेश लाल जी को और विकास जी को और नैना प्रसाद जी और मेरे मित्र डॉक्टर विनोद सेन और कपिल देव सर, सभी को मेरा प्रणाम. देखिए, कार्यक्रम में अभी दो विद्वानों ने अपनी बात रखी है बजट के संदर्भ में, और अधिकांश जो पार्ट था, चाहे एजुकेशन हो, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हो, उस पर सर ने बहुत विस्तृत रूप से अपनी बात रखी है। मैं कृषि को जोड़ते हुए थोड़ी सी अपनी बात रखने की कोशिश करूंगा, क्योंकि देखिए हम लोग, कहा भी जाता है कि हम भारत कृषि प्रधान देश है, तो हम बजट को हम 2 भागों में बांट के भी देखते हैं। जब भी बजट आता है तो हम देखते हैं भारत का बजट आया है कि इंडिया का बजट आया है, ये बड़ा चर्चा का विषय होता है। तो जब हम देखते हैं कि भारत से मत अर्थ होता है कि मान लेते हैं हम लोग कि ग्रामीण क्षेत्र से है, जिसमें एग्रीकल्चर अपना महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका रखता है। तो एग्रीकल्चर चूंकि हम रीढ़ कहा जाता है अर्थव्यवस्था की, और हमारे किसी भी रूप में देखें, हम जीविका के रूप में देखें तो एग्रीकल्चर से हमारी जीविका जुड़ी होती है। उद्योगों के रूप में देखें तो उद्योगों का भी कोई ना कोई रॉ मटेरियल बिना एग्रीकल्चर के कंप्लीट नहीं होता है। हम व्यापार की बात करें तो भारत के अधिकांश व्यापार में एग्रीकल्चर का एक बड़ा हिस्सा है। आय में है, रोजगार में भी है। आय के रूप से देखें हम तो लगातार जो आजादी के बाद से एग्रीकल्चर पर हमारा ध्यान कम होता गया है, और परसेंटेज जो इन्वॉल्विंग थी वो भी घटती गई है। हम लोग इसके पीछे वजह मानते हैं कि विकसित देशों में एग्रीकल्चर में इन्वॉल्विंग पॉपुलेशन के अकॉर्डिंग या वर्किंग फोर्स जो है उसके अकॉर्डिंग हम घटाते जाते हैं, क्योंकि जो मोटे रूप से हम अर्थव्यवस्था को 3 भागों में बांट के देखते हैं, प्राइमरी, सेकेंडरी, टर्सरी। और विकास के कुछ मापदंड हैं, उन विकास के मापदंडों में हम लोग एग्रीकल्चर को लास्ट में रखते हैं, और सेकेंडरी सेक्टर को और टर्सरी सेक्टर को अच्छा मानते हैं। इसलिए लगातार आप देख रहे हैं कि जब हमारा उल्टा हो गया ग्राफ पूरा, जब भारत आजाद हुआ तो हमारा 50% से अबव था कंट्रीब्यूशन एग्रीकल्चर प्राइमरी सेक्टर का। आज हमारा घटते हुए 15 से 16% रह जाता है, और सेकंड टर्सरी सेक्टर का 50% से ऊपर है, 55, 57, 58 तक टच कर रहा है। इसके मायने है कि हम लोग इस, मैं थोड़ा सा इसका विश्लेषण करूं अपने आंकड़ों के आने से पूर्व, हम लोग एग्रीकल्चर को थोड़ा सा 2 दर्जे के रूप में देखते हैं। इस हम लोग, हमारी सरकार भले ही कितनी बात करे कि एग्रीकल्चर के माध्यम से हम किसानों को एक लाभ पहुंचाएंगे, आय को दुगनी करने की बात करेंगे, या मध्य प्रदेश सरकार लगातार इस बात को कहती रही है कि किस खेती को हम लाभ का सौदा बनाएंगे, ठीक है, ट्रेड से जोड़ेंगे। लेकिन ट्रेड से जुड़ी हुई है, ऐसा नहीं कि अभी जुड़ेगी। हजारों सालों से हमारी अर्थव्यवस्था जितनी पुरानी है उतनी ही पुरानी एग्रीकल्चर है। तो एग्रीकल्चर के महत्व को हम लोग कम आंक के देख रहे हैं, ये सबसे बड़ी वजह है। ऐसा बजट में भी हमें देखने को मिला है। भले ही हमने बजट में 7 जो सप्तऋषि से जोड़ा है कि 7 ऋषि हैं, उन्होंने हमने अपनी प्राथमिकताएं तय की है। अमृतकाल से जोड़ा है कि अमृतकाल एक स्वर्ण से भी मतलब एक तरह मानते हैं, अपने जीवन का स्वर्णिम एक मैक्सिमम यूटिलाइजेशन कह सकते हैं हम, उसको रूप में देखते हैं। तो उसमें हम देखा है वित्तीय क्षेत्र में हम अपने प्रायोरिटी को तय करेंगे, समावेशी विकास करेंगे, आखिरी व्यक्ति तक पहुंचने की कोशिश करेंगे, अवसंरचना और निवेश में बढ़ावा देंगे, क्षमता का भी विकास करेंगे, हरित विकास की बात कही गई, युवा शक्ति की बात कही गई। तो ऐसा शब्द कुछ नहीं है जो नया कहा गया हो बजट में, लेकिन उसकी शब्दावली टर्मिनोलॉजी बदल करके एक नया रूप देने की कोशिश इस बजट में की गई है, ऐसा मैं मानता हूँ। जैसे कि हमारे अर्थशास्त्री हैं, वो कहते हैं कि अर्थशास्त्र की जो उपयोगिता का नियम है ना, हिक्स और मार्शल का यूटिलिटी लॉ, हम कहते हैं उसको नई बोतल में पुरानी वाइन है, ठीक है। तो उसमें कुछ ज्यादा अंतर नहीं आता, ऐसा मानते हैं। लेकिन फिर भी प्रयास है, सरकार ने प्रयास किए हैं, उन प्रयासों के बारे में मैं थोड़ी थोड़ी बात करूंगा। जैसे सरकार ने बोला है कि हम एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर पर विशेष ध्यान देने की बात करेंगे, जिसमें कुछ ऐलान भी किए हैं बजट में। जैसे ग्रीन एग्रीकल्चर की बात की है, मिलेट एग्रीकल्चर क्रेडिट, डिजिटल तकनीकी से खेती को बढ़ावा देंगे, पशुपालन, मछली पालन, सहकार से समृद्धि आदि, ये सरकार के विशेष क्षेत्र हैं जहां एग्रीकल्चर को बढ़ाने की बात इस माध्यम से कहने की कोशिश सरकार ने की है। उन्होंने सरकार ने यही बोला है कि आत्मनिर्भर कार्यक्रमों का शुभारंभ करेंगे हम, जिसके लिए सरकार ने एक विशेष पैकेज की घोषणा की है, जिसमें 2200 करोड़ रुपए प्रारंभिक मतलब जो बैक करने की बात रखी गई है, जिसमें बागवानी फसल के लिए रोग मुक्त गुणवत्तापूर्ण पौधे सामग्री उपलब्ध कराएगी किसानों को, जिससे कि हम लोग एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर में कुछ आगे बढ़ने की कोशिश कर सकें। सरकार अगले 3 वर्षों में 1 करोड़ किसानों को प्राकृतिक खेती करने के लिए प्रोत्साहित करने की बात कर रही है, और उसके साथ साथ वो उनको सहायता भी उपलब्ध कराएगी। इसके साथ ही राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर जो वितरित सूक्ष्म उर्वरक, कीटनाशक विनिर्माण नेटवर्क तैयार करने के लिए भी 10,000 बायो इनपुट रिसोर्स केंद्र खोलने की बात सरकार ने कही है। और इसके साथ सरकार ने भारत में श्री अन्न, जो हमारे मोटे अनाज जिले मिलेट कहते हैं, उनको बढ़ावा देने के लिए उनका एक नाम परिवर्तित कर दिया, श्री अन्न बोल दिया है। तो श्री अन्न में हमारा श्री ज्वारा कहलाएगा, ठीक है ना, बाजरा और बहुत से इसमें मोटे अनाजों की इसमें जोड़ा गया है, उसको बढ़ावा देने की बात इसमें कही गई है। इसके साथ साथ कृषि ऋण को बढ़ाया गया है। बढ़ाने के लिए पशुपालन, डेयरी, मत्स्य पालन, उनको विशेष ध्यान दिया गया है। इसके लिए भी 20 लाख करोड़ का विशेष पैकेज दिया गया, सरकार ने घोषणा की है। सरकार इसके माध्यम से, किसान क्रेडिट माध्यम से और भी फैसिलिटी प्रोवाइड कराएगी। उसके लाभ पहुंचाने की योजना को सरल करने की बात कही गई है। और इसके साथ साथ पीएम मत्स्य संपदा योजना का एक नया उप योजना के रूप में जोड़ी है। उसके लिए सरकार ने 6,000 करोड़ रुपए का लक्ष्य निर्धारित किया गया है। इसके माध्यम से मछली पालकों के लिए मतलब अच्छी मछलियां किस्म की उपलब्ध कराएगी सरकार। इसके साथ साथ सूक्ष्म एवं लघु उद्योगों को भी बढ़ावा देगी सरकार, और मूल्य श्रृंखला को बनाएगी। बाजार की जो श्रृंखला होती है उपभोक्ता उत्पादक के बीच, बाजार के बीच, उसको जोड़ने का कार्य वो करने की कोशिश इस बजट में बात कही गई है। कृषि के डिजिटल जन अवसंरचना को, एग्रीटेक उद्योग, स्टार्टअप को बढ़ावा देने की बात कही गई है, और किसान केंद्रित समाधान उपलब्ध कराने के उद्देश्य से अनेक घोषणाएं इसमें की गई हैं। सरकार ने 2,516 करोड़ रुपए के निवेश के साथ 63,000 प्राथमिक कृषि ऋण सोसाइटियों को विकसित करने की बात कही गई है। उसको कंप्यूटराइज किया जाएगा, अत्याधुनिक ढंग से उसको जोड़ा जाएगा, जिससे कि किसान अपनी कुछ भी खेती संबंधी जानकारी हासिल कर सके, जिससे कि किसान कम से कम परेशान हो और खेती को और अच्छा सा विकसित कर सके। इसके साथ साथ ही व्यापक केंद्रीयकृत भंडार क्षमता को बढ़ाने की बात कही गई है, क्योंकि हम देख रहे हैं कि भारत में लगातार हमारा कृषि उत्पादन बढ़ रहा है, और खाद्यान्नों का जो उत्पादन था उसमें लगातार वृद्धि हो रही है। उसकी वृद्धि के देखने के चलते हम लोग 275 मिलियन टन, एक समय था हम 1950 में हम 50 मिलियन टन ही अनाज उत्पादन कर पाते थे। तो इसका मतलब बम्पर तो उत्पादन हो रहा है, लेकिन रख रखाव के अभाव के चलते, स्टोरेज फैसिलिटी न होने के कारण इसमें हम लोगों का अधिकांश अनाज खराब हो जाता है। हम देखते हैं बरसात जैसे शुरू होती है तो पेपर में, अखबार में वो आता है, न्यूज आती है, कितने टन अनाज खराब हो गया, रखा हुआ खुले में ऐसे। इसका मतलब है कहीं ना कहीं स्टोरेज की कमी है। तो इस बजट में इस बात को उठाया गया है, और उसमें ऐसा बोला गया है कि हम इस बात का ध्यान रखेंगे कि स्टोरेज की अधिक सुविधा हो। इसके साथ साथ एक घोषणा और की है सरकार ने, कृषि वर्धक निधि। युवा उद्यमी ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में एग्री स्टार्टअप खोल सकें, इसके लिए उन्हें प्रोत्साहन करने के लिए कृषि वर्धक निधि स्थापित करने की बात कही गई है। इसके लिए 5 साल में 500 करोड़ रुपए का प्रावधान सरकार ने किया है। इस निधि का उद्देश्य किसानों के सामने अनेक समस्या आती है, बीज से लेकर और बाजार तक ले जाने तक की समस्या होती हैं। सभी समस्याओं का निदान यदि हो जाएगा तो किसान कुछ आत्मनिर्भर होगा, और इसके चलते हम अच्छी फसल या अच्छी कृषि को उन विकसित तरीके से, अधिक उन्नत तरीके से अधिक उत्पादन का लाभ ले सकेंगे, ऐसा हम मानते हैं। इसमें हम कपास की खेती को भी बढ़ावा देने की बात हमने स्पेशल रूप से रखी है। इसके साथ साथ इस बजट में पीपीपी मॉडल के माध्यम से एक कृषि को विकसित करने की बात कही गई है। तो किसान और सरकार के बीच एक पीपीपी मॉडल अपनाया जाएगा। उसके माध्यम से सरकार और किसानों तक उनको आत्मनिर्भर बनाने के लिए बागवानी, स्वच्छ पौधे कार्यक्रम सरकार ने इस वर्ष जो अनेक मतलब ऐसी योजनाओं के माध्यम से गुणवत्ता पूर्ण पौधे की सामग्री, अनेक मतलब बीज, सीड्स जो हाई वैरायटी यील्ड होते हैं, सीड्स, उसको बढ़ाने की बात इसमें कही गई है। तो जो श्री अन्न योजना है, इसका बहुत बड़ा बढ़ चढ़ के सरकार प्रचार प्रसार कर रही है। वैसा घोषणा भी कर रही सरकार कि हम विश्व के दूसरे नंबर के देश हैं जिसमें हम श्री अन्न योजना में अपना स्थान रखते हैं। और इसके अगर हम इसको बढ़ावा देंगे तो आम किसान जिसको आधुनिक खेती या अन्य जो फसलें हैं उनको पैदा करना नहीं आता, तो पुराने अपन समय में लौट जाएंगे। और पुराने जो, चूंकि इसके हेल्थ को लेकर भी ज्यादा अवेयरनेस हो रही है, क्योंकि आज देख रहे हैं हम पढ़े लिखे या जितना जो अधिक इनकम ग्रुप वाला व्यक्ति है वो इसी उस पे आ गया है कि मोटे अनाज को खाने पीने की से हमारी सेहत को भी अच्छे से हम लोग रख सकते हैं, आगे जीवन के जो आपकी लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी है उसको बढ़ा सकते हैं, ऐसा सरकार का सोच है। तो ऐसा मानती है सरकार कि देश में 86% छोटे किसान हैं, इनको हम केसीसी से मतलब ऋण सस्ता या ऋण देने का जो माध्यम है उसको ठीक करेगी सरकार। लेकिन मैं इतने उपायों के बाद भी मैं ऐसा मानता हूं इस बजट में कि जितनी एग्रीकल्चर के लिए व्यवस्था होनी चाहिए थी वो व्यवस्था सरकार ने नहीं की है। जितना कि ढांचागत सुविधाएं हैं, उद्योगों को निवेश, अनेक जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की बात जो कपिल सर ने बोला, और ठीक है उसके लिए जो उद्योगों के लिए पर्याप्त सरकार ने व्यवस्था करती है, उनके सब्सिडी भी प्रोवाइड करती है। आप देख रहे हैं वर्तमान में अभी एक इशू चल रहा है अडानी वाला, उसमें भी काफी हद तक अगर हमारा किसान 5-10 हजार रुपए भी ऋण ले लेता है तो अगर उसको चुकता नहीं कर पाता तो आप देखते हैं बैंक्स द्वारा अनेक दबाव डाले जाते हैं, तो सुसाइड्स होती हैं किसानों की, वो भी सामने आती है। तो इन सब को दूर करने के लिए सरकार ने विशेष प्रबंध जितने होने चाहिए उतने नहीं हुए। तो हम ये कह सकते हैं कि अमृतकाल का बजट केवल कुछ वर्ग तक या इंडिया के लिए तो है, लेकिन भारत के लिए अमृतकाल का बजट कह पाना थोड़ा सा भी मुश्किल है, क्योंकि अभी घोषणा